Alright, so here we go. The real in game content is the friends you made along the way. That was the in game content the whole time.
Ha! Yeah, okay,
No, no,
Levi.
did you not hear? That's actually what Deej said that.
Bro, Deej is an idiot. So,
No, like
Deej is a great guy. Love him, but some of the stuff he says is just stupid.
it was the greatest. Like I seen the post and like I seen it the other day. I seen like it was actually a news video talking about like people's response to what he said, and apparently like there were front page Reddit articles about like about like the stuff he'd said, and like, what are you doing?
Deej is just being Deej, man.
Alright, what is up YouTube? My name is The Air. Today I'm coming back with a video talking about mostly in-game content and how it really is, the amount of content, state of said content, the replayability of the content. And first I want to say, I think the game is pretty good at the moment, and that more content is on the way. We have to realize that the game is it's just now going into its second month. People that will be hardcore players eventually are still hopping onto this game for the very first time. And a lot of people aren't even ready for the normal raid yet, much less the prestige raid that's coming out tomorrow. Now, the first thing I want to address here is the difference between the casuals and the hardcores. Like, the gap here is really crazy. Like, I know two people, two of my real life friends who have this game, or actually three of my real life friends who have this game, and they've been playing, between, I would say, 3 and 5 hours a week. Playing this game, just casually playing it, playing the story. They've beaten the story, they're getting into, slightly in game content, but their level is somewhere between 260 and 280. Okay? They aren't really even to the point where they're completing raids on the norm. A raid is like the pinnacle of what they could accomplish still, while the rest of us have already beaten the raid several times. And that's one thing you have to understand, that even though there are a lot of people that are really, really complaining about lack of content, there are a lot of people who still haven't sifted through the content that's there. And that's where I want to address that the most hardcore players will never, ever have enough content. The players who have the time, or simply make the time, to play between 3 and 5 hours daily, I don't believe those players will really ever have enough content to satisfy them. Because those players can grind out the game enough to complete all the activities every single day and be finished before the end of the week. Those players will never have enough content to keep them going the entirety of the week. Now, what can be done about it? And yes, you can give both sides what they want without pissing the other side off. So what can make both players happy? So you can implement game modes that can be played just for fun. I'm not really going to mention many game modes, but you guys get the point. Game modes that can be played just for fun can be played by anyone, and you can just play them for fun. You hop on, doesn't really matter the loot, it doesn't matter the level. You just hop on and you play the game for fun. Now, the next is also kind of talking about playing the game for fun, but also making the game a little bit easier in one in-game aspect, turning it a little bit, making it more fun for both the hardcores and the casuals. And this is burns on Nightfalls. So, what this does is, for the lower players, it allows a player with lower light level to use a burn on whatever weapon they choose in order to aid them in their nightfall. Now, what this does for the higher players, such as myself, I would really like to have burns on my nightfall so that I can use some of these weapons that, to be honest, I don't use, very often. I mean, obviously you can change the damage type, but some weapons I just don't find myself using very often, and I could use kind of whatever weapon I wanted to if there was a burn, and it would just make the strike more fun in general. I don't really think it'd make it too easy or anything, because obviously if you're max light, you're not going to struggle with the strike that much anyway, but it would just give it a little bit more of a fun aspect to it. So, another thing that would appease more hardcore players, and once again, not really punish players that don't have the time for it, is bringing back bounties and other daily activities that reward players who just have the time to grind out the game. And the thing about these is it doesn't really put them that far ahead because of, it takes, 1 to 3 hours to complete all these bounties, and the fact is you do it once a day. It might give you, a couple tokens. Obviously, it would need to give you enough tokens for it to matter, but it would need to give you a decent amount of extra tokens and XP. I want a higher level strike playlist. I can't say that I would play it anyway, but I know a lot of people that would play a higher level strike playlist that dropped better loot. It's just something that higher level players could go do so that they have a chance for better loot after they've completed all their other activities. Now, the final thing is I'd like to have higher level lost sectors. Just, for example, you go to Cade one day for the flashpoint, and he's like, hey, those sectors you cleared out? Yeah, they're back and not happy about it. And then you would have, 300 light level lost sectors that you go do on the planet coincides with the flashpoint, and, maybe the lost sectors have a chance to drop, 300 level gear or exotics or something. Obviously not every lost sector would do it, but maybe one of the lost sectors on the planet is guaranteed to drop a 300 level gear. That would just be, a couple things that would make the in-game content a little bit better in all aspects, and simultaneously not punish the casual players for not having access to the in-game content. That's pretty much it for today's video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and as always...
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech, you'll shake and shudder